Restraints are one of those things that can really make or break a ride. Take Stormrunner for example. It used to have those INTAMIN hard plastic over-the-shoulder restraints, and when it had those, I would call it a less than enjoyable experience. Then Hershey made the decision to retrofit the ride with vest restraints and eliminate the headbanging, and now it's one of the best launch coasters in the world. We all have our favorite types of restraints, and these opinions can largely depend on your build. For example, I'm 5'11", so someone who's maybe around 5'6" would have completely different opinions, and that's perfectly fine. This is also only going to be including restraints that have been on coasters that I've experienced, so I won't have stuff like Timberliner restraints because I haven't experienced them. Just a word of warning, this is going to be a pretty controversial list, so if you're easily offended, you might not want to watch, and with that said, let's go. My number 10 favorite restraint is the S&S restraints that they have on Max Force. I believe that they also have these on Steel Curtain, but I haven't ridden Steel Curtain yet. I'll likely get there soon though. The reason I love these restraints is because of how open they are. That really adds to the experience of Max Force because you feel like nothing is holding you in, and I think that's one of the big reasons why Max Force is my number 5 coaster. I should however note that these do have shin guards, but they are so far away from your legs that you won't really notice them. The number 9 restraint you probably wouldn't have expected to be on this list, but it's the ZAMPERLA Twister Coaster restraints. I have experienced these on 2 coasters, those being Raging Cajun at Six Flags America and the Wild Mouse at the Great Frederick Fair. There are a few things I like about these restraints. First of all, it's easy to get room on these restraints, and that's important at least on Raging Cajun because there's this insane little pop of ejector airtime towards the end of the ride. Second of all, the restraint is nice and soft. And finally, there's only one bar that goes down over the whole row, so if you're riding by yourself like I usually do because I have no friends, you were just sliding around the bar the whole time and it's so much fun. It's one of the reasons why Raging Cajun is my favorite coaster. Remember, that's favorite, not best. Obviously it's not the best coaster I've ridden, that's Steel Vengeance. The restraint that's going to come in at number 8 spot is Millennium Flyer lap bars. These are basically PTC restraints, but if they are actually good. Whereas PTC restraints come down during the ride, Millennium Flyers seem to always stay locked in position, or at least on the ones I've ridden. Not to mention that they're shaped better with that little curve that it has. Another reason I like these is because of how tiny they are and how exposed it makes you feel during the ride. The only time that you ever really notice them is when the ride is trying to throw you out of the train, and these restraints are right there to stop you. Having an open feeling restraint can be really important, especially if you're sitting in the front row, because it gives you that feeling that nothing can stop you. The number 7 pick might produce a few dislikes because a lot of people absolutely despise these restraints, but hey, I'm always going to give my honest opinion. And that's the keyword, opinion. At number 7, I have the old Vekoma SLC restraints. I know, I'm crazy, right? But before you leave a dislike, just let me give my reasoning. The reason I love these restraints is because of how soft they are, and this is needed because SLCs can be a tad bit shaky at times. However, this doesn't matter because those pillow-like restraints absorb any pain that you would have felt. This, in my opinion, creates an enjoyable ride, especially if you're sitting in the front row and you can see all those near-miss effects. I think that the restraints are largely the reason why I'm such a big SLC fan. At number 6, we have the second Vekoma restraint in a row, and that's their new vest restraints. Out of all the restraints on this list, these might actually be the most comfortable. Unlike the B&M vest restraints, these is not tighten at all throughout the ride, so you don't have to worry about not being able to breathe while sitting on that brake run. I know that many people don't agree, but I think that Vekoma makes some of the best restraints. The reason I put this above their over-the-shoulder restraints is because on this, all headbanging is completely eliminated. I know that the headbanging on the SLC restraints don't hurt, but it can get a little bit annoying, so it's always nice to have those vests instead. In short, these are some of the only vest restraints that don't make you feel constricted. The 5th best restraint that I've experienced is the 1-bar PTC restraints, which I had on American Eagle at Six Flags Great America. It is important to distinguish the difference between these and the 2-bar PTC restraints because the 2-bar ones are some of my least favorite. Anyway, I don't think that I noticed these restraints once when I was riding American Eagle. These things are so tiny that's unbelievable, plus they're soft. If I had to equate these restraints to something, it's basically just going to the grocery store, picking up a baguette, and just strapping it down over yourself on this massive wooden coaster. It also didn't come down one bit during the ride, so I was able to get massive amounts of airtime. I can't even begin to fathom why on earth PTC would go away from these restraints. They're perfect for their woodies. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have something else that you probably didn't expect to find on this list, and it's the Vekoma Flying Dutchman restraints. The main reason that I like these is because the whole time you feel like you're falling out of the train, although you obviously won't. I also don't find these restraints to be tight at all, so you're actually able to get some airtime. Yes, that's right, airtime on a flying coaster. I can kind of understand why some people don't love these because yes, they slow down operations, but I feel like the positives make the negatives completely obsolete. We're down to the top 3, and in my opinion, these 3 restraints are miles better than any other restraint I've had. These 3 are basically interchangeable, and I'm still kind of questioning the order, but I put INTAMIN T-bars at number 3. I've experienced these on 3 coasters before, and all 3 of those are in my top 6. T-bars are great because they do everything they're supposed to without doing too much. This can be a problem with some companies, cough cough, Togo, but INTAMIN knows that you don't need an entire hippo sitting on you to hold you in. This adds to the free feeling that INTAMIN is known for on their coasters, and I'm really hoping that INTAMIN starts to go back to these restraints when they build coasters in the future, instead of trying to fix things that aren't broken. Like INTAMIN, you can fix your non-broken restraints, but you can't fix your actually broken rides. The second best coaster restraint I've experienced is the B&M clamshells. The reason that I decided to put clamshells ahead of T-bars is because I've never had any issues with clamshells coming down throughout the ride. There are just so many things I could say about clamshells. They are the most open feeling restraint that I've ever experienced, and maybe even on the planet. That is the key to feeling that floaty feeling that B&M hoppers are supposed to give. The shaping of them also makes no sense, but is actually great. You might think that they're pretty bulky, but it's actually really comfortable when you're on the ride. We're down to the number 1, and a lot of people might have been able to guess what would be here, and it's the buzz bars. Just one bar that comes down about a foot above your lap that covers both you and the person next to you. I've been able to ride 2 coasters that use buzz bars, Swamp Fox at Family Kingdom and Comet at Hershey Park. It might sound like weird reasoning, but I think about it like this. Right now, both of those rides are some of my favorite wooden coasters. If either of them were to switch to normal PTC lap bars, they'd be my 2 least favorite wooden coasters. That's because the restraints are what makes them great. They are the reason why you can get standing airtime. Buzz bars are simply unmatched in the effect that it has on a ride. Thank you guys for watching this video. Remember to leave your thoughts, video ideas, and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later.